Is your relationship feeling a little disconnected, rocky, because of your busy schedules, trust issues, and personal growth development? In this video, we're going to be talking about how to fix it before it falls off the boat and before y'all separate.
All right, let's get it in. So this is episode 3, right? It's episode 3 of how to address your concerns into your relationship or marriage.
Hello, everybody.
Sunny Bonani. My name is Pumla, the Lady of Power.
My name is Jave, aka Grandmaster Bugsy.
And together we are
The Boy Walkers.
Let's go. Okay, so point number one. Point number one is time management struggles. So what do you do if you have a problem with the time management struggles? You feel like your partner is not really a time management person, a person who knows how to manage time when you guys have to do stuff. Like, let me say you guys have to go somewhere. She or he is always like pulling you guys back, being late, not putting much effort to change on how, like, managing time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you have anything to share in terms of like what do we do in situations like that where I feel like you are not being, or I am not being, more mindful of the time that we need to use? Because I feel like everything is like about management in a relationship.
I think first and foremost, there has to be meetings, meetups, and pre-game, right? They call it pre-game. So pre-game is where you both talk about the schedule, and you guys have to have a like-minded individual, a like-minded situation, a like-minded awareness when it comes to focusing on what's important or what's the direction. And so sitting down before time or ahead of time or the day before to make your to-do list or your target list at least 3 things to execute on in the beginning half of the day, so both parties are on the same page. I think that is a game changer.
And also, not also, but I wanted to ask you another question. I wanted to add on top of the question, like, how can I address that type of concern to my partner as someone who's watching?
Love conversations, love talk. We call it love talk.
Deep communication, conversation.
Deep conversations, deep communication of concerns, matters, visions, points of views, principles, values, boundaries, standards, so on and so forth. This brings awareness within both partners of what you are striving for.
Right.
To make sure that both minds are on the same direction, heading towards success and greatness and overall development of personal, mental, physical, spiritual, business, God at the top of it all.
Right. And I also would say, like, make sure that you schedule intentional couples time. Like, this is our time right now. No distractions, no social media, no what else? No work stress. Like maybe you're trying to, get into your laptop and stuff like that. Like just being together, whether it's in the house, whether it's in the room, whether the kids are sleeping and it's just me and you, stuff like that. You don't have to go out for that. You don't have to go to a hotel for that. You can literally do it in the house. So I feel like that will help too in terms of like developing a strategy of like, okay, communication, deep communication, and love talks as well.
Another aspect is how do we become so successful in overall growth in what we're doing and the blueprint that we use. There's 3 things. Number 1 is prioritization.
Yeah.
Prioritizing, you can have a list of things that you prioritize, but if you don't do the second point, which is organize your priorities.
Right.
Organize the priorities, right? And then last but not least, which is the 3rd point, discipline, execute them, get them done, right? So for what we're talking about, making it a priority, number 1, in your relationship.
Every Saturday or every Sunday. Maybe every Saturday is time with the kids. Like we normally have like lay down on the floor in the living room, a movie night, family movie night. Everyone's gonna sleep in the living room, and we all watching a movie and sleeping together on Saturdays. On Sundays, it's me and him time. We spend time together, and so on and so forth. On Mondays, it's our love talk time, and then we talk love talk because it's a Monday. The week is starting, everything is fresh, and we move on. We do that pretty much every week, and it's all about consistency. It's all about a schedule. If you can follow your schedule from your job, you can make your own schedule and follow it as well.
So
it's literally the same thing. Sorry.
To wrap it up, it will be prioritizing upon your own priorities.
Yeah.
That this is an importance when it comes to team effort,
Right.
team growth, partnership, so on and so forth. You guys can do this at the comfort of your own home. You can do it at the comfort of your office, desk space. You can do it at a coffee shop to spice things up, to get a new environment, to be out the opening.
No, that's right.
And it's not have bullet points. You gotta prioritizing and organizing, meaning take notes,
Right.
make it important. Look at it as though it is a grand display on how you are organizing something that is going to lead towards success.
Yeah. So number 2, this is a good one. I know most of the people is gonna love this one. Most of the ladies and men, because I'm not just gonna say ladies, because sometimes we have women who thinks like men, and we have men who thinks like women. Hey, let's not get in there. Let's go. Let's get in the second option. The second point is trust and boundaries. Okay, I love this. Social media interactions, privacy or past trust issues. Now, how do you address those concerns? What would be your way to address those, especially trust issues? I feel like that's where we can dwell on more.
All right, so if you have trust issues, number one and foremost, I don't believe that you should personally be in a relationship. It is not the other partner's job to have you fix something so personal.
Yeah.
You have to deal with these things way prior ahead, because you don't want to give so much luggage for the other partner to really focus on, which is your work to do, right? If you have trust issues, this allows you to establish a personal and intimate relationship with yourself on what was the outcome in the situation that you experienced, which made you feel like you had trust issues because of a circumstance.
Right.
Now then you need to calculate, you need to do that work of forgiving yourself, forgiving them, and then from there you need to go forth and know the traits, the habits, so you don't encounter such people again, right? Therefore, it allows you to have a clean slate when you're dealing with people, and you can already identify and also listen to your intuition, because this is what it's training you to do. Your intuition told you then, when you had trust issues, that something was going on, but you ignored it. So you're getting more intimate with your inner being, aka the Holy Spirit, aka so on and so forth, right?
Right.
Need I say more, right?
Right.
So you can trust when you have the intuitive nudge that this is not for me, right? I'm not supposed to be going away, something's going on. I need to be more tuned in, tapped in, charged on, okay? So identify your own trust issues, do your work before you get in relationships, so you don't give them the work to make them feel like they gotta make you feel like that they are doing something good for you to trust them. Right?
Okay, I also wanna chime in with this one. So let me say you're in a relationship, like maybe let me say it's a 10-year relationship, right, or marriage, and then your partner cheats and stuff like that, and uses the same time that he or she would uses maybe when they're going out with friends, or maybe let me say dance. Let me say you're going to dance at 8 to 10, right? You uses that same time every time you go out to do something, and then you still use that same time, right, but different days now, right? How do I solve, or how do I address that concern that the last time you were doing the same thing, you were going out at this time, and then I discovered this, and I was feeling this way, so now I don't trust you when you say you're going to dance at 8 to 10 p.m. because I feel like you're still doing the same thing. It's 8 to 10, right, p.m., you know what I mean? So how do you solve problems like that, or concerns like that. How would you
Okay,
do?
so my answer to this, I would have to revert it to my own personal,
Yeah.
and I would have to live in those shoes. That's why I say live in those. See that I love people's shoes and
Right.
If I had a woman who gave me things like that and tricks and stuff like that, and I had at this point, I understand the wisdom that I received one time when listening
Right.
to one of my mentors, and it was regarding that we're in a situation that you are putting yourself in shows the lack of self-love that you have for yourself.
Yeah.
So you're seeking love from someone else instead of loving yourself. If you love yourself unconditionally, then you will be able to love yourself when your partner is not loving you. So therefore, you don't need your partner to love you for you to love you.
Yeah.
So therefore, it makes you confident and faithful to your intuitive nudge or to your intuition on a higher level, and you're loving yourself and you don't need your partner to love you for you to love you. So by you loving yourself, you will be very tuned in if situations like that occur to where whether or not if it is working for you or it's no longer working for you.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
Right?
I like that.
I think
would
that
also,
is the development personally because if you already have tension of, well, if you go out, well, are they supposed to be on house arrest now because
Right.
they did this in the past?
yeah.
And if that's the case, then that means that no matter what that person does, it's not going to work out because you haven't did the inner work yet, right? Because now you're venturing to say, well, I don't trust you for this, so what if you go out and do this? Now they have so much priority on thinking more on what they're going to do or possibly what they did in the past to
Yeah.
do what had already been done in the past. See what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying, and I will also say that make sure that you set your boundaries clearly. Be clear on your boundaries. Like, in a situation like that, as a woman, I feel like the first time even if we 10 years in a marriage or in a relationship, I feel like I would definitely tell you that I caught you doing this. Because sometimes we want to fight, we just like want to fight for no reason. I feel like it makes sense for you to sit down with your partner and tell them like, it's either this or me. Or if you want to go ahead and do this, go ahead and do this and leave me alone and let's go our separate ways. You know what I mean? Not that you don't love your partner, but you love yourself so much that you don't want to put yourself through that stress from the beginning, and then let them choose. If they don't choose you, that's okay. That means it wasn't meant for you guys to be together, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes a while for people to heal when things like that happen, which is, I feel like, maybe it's normal because I've came across a lot of people now who go through. For me, it's like, okay, now what? I need to focus on myself, and then I need to move on to the next plan. Do I want to still be in a relationship or not? But I do feel like sitting your partner down and setting your boundaries clear that I don't want this. This is what I want. And if you want to do this, so that means me and you is not, aligned to be together at this point because I don't want this, right? So it's up to you whether you prioritize your issues or we have to go our separate ways. Anyways, I'm not saying give up your relationship or anything like that, but know your boundaries, know what you want. Don't put yourself through stress, don't put yourself through anxiety, don't start driving around following your man and acting crazy. I wouldn't do that as a woman. And be transparent, be open enough, be transparent.
You said it right, what y'all said.
You said it right with your accent. Okay, yeah, well, that's what I wanted to say, you guys. Either just build trust over time. Just build trust over time. And if you can't, that means you have a problem.
Building trust over time involves you having experiences, trials and tribulation, growth.
Yeah.
A lot of the times that's where you build the trust at.
Right.
You guys haven't went through things and build through character
Yeah.
and establish one's awareness of integrity, right? You won't build character, or you won't build necessarily trust, right? For instance, 15 minutes in. For instance, no, just long story short, that's where it morally boils down to. The moral point to it is having experiences together that deals with personal growth. So, going through a transformation in your fitness journey with your partner, developing a business together and understanding how you guys want to build it, developing your finances together, and say you guys want to make $30,000 together for a specific investment.
Hey,
that's another aspect.
Number 3?
No.
Number 3 is, I think that's what you're explaining.
I'm not.
Really?
No. I was just explaining like what builds on the trust.
Yeah, but that's where we're about to go, which is personal growth versus relationship growth.
Oh, that's cool that I did that, but I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, but that's what makes the trust, what builds the trust, because then if you guys are aiming towards a goal and you both see the development of that goal coming to life, you start to establish some form of connection, like, wow, we were from over there and then we transitioned over here. That's crazy. That's awesome.
Right.
Like, we can actually do a lot of things.
Yeah.
Maybe this person has a lot of potential. Long story short.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so number 3, even though you have went through it a little bit, but it's personal growth versus relationship growth. One partner is growing in a different direction. What happens? How can you address that concern? I feel like you had that type of conversation with your friend not too long ago, where he's growing and his partner is not growing, so he's going in a different direction, and the partner is going, or staying or stagnant. You know what I mean? So, what would you say is a good thing to do in that situation, or how to address that concern when you're having a communication with your partner?
It is a challenge, and it's meant for all of us to strive to the challenge and not weary from it.
Yeah.
But the challenge is focus so much on the growth within yourself first, to be and embody you being, doing, having.
Yeah.
What you're saying, so that it can be more of an influence, because they can see you change.
Right.
Because of the daily practices that you're continuously staying consistent with. And we'll give you those rules again. Prioritization, organize, and discipline. And that's how you will be able to impress upon their subconscious that this growth or that this change is for the good.
Yeah.
So you would necessarily have to use your words, because words won't necessarily change. But they say your action speaks louder than your words.
Right.
And so to be so involved in, I'm not going to keep explaining this to you when I know that this is right. I'm going to just do what I'm going to do in the dark. I'm going to love you. Right? There's not going to be any differences outside of me not doing the same practices that you saw me doing.
Yeah.
You're going to see me switching it up. Obviously, I'll be a little bit communicative, but a lot of it is not talk, it's more of action. Right? Write your stuff down, journal, and therefore make action. Set the time aside, especially if y'all living in the same household. They're going to start seeing you working out more. Oh, I just need about 15, 20 minutes. I'm going to be over there as soon as that. You need me to do that? Okay, cool. Let me get this done. Mm-hmm. But it takes so much awareness that, I'm doing this for a reason. What's my why? What's my why? What's my why?
Yeah.
Right? Because you can get caught up in like your old habits.
Right.
Right? You can get caught up in being engulfed in the world, right? And it can be tough. Yeah. But if you desire it more than you are thinking about the stuff, you will start to adjust and start to make changes and make slight shifts or be in the higher version of yourself, so you can influence them. And that's what will help you.
I do feel like another solution is to support each other or support each other's goals. Like if you're like in communication, you guys are going to sit down and have a communication. What are your goals for this year? or what is our goal? Like, what do we want to do in a marriage? Like, do we maybe planning to get married, or are we planning to renew our vows, or are we planning to go on a vacation? Like, what is the plan? Let's focus on that goal and maintain a shared vision. Because if we have that shared vision in our marriage, it's okay for another person to grow and develop in a different direction, right?
Different life, yeah.
Yes, because we do have one goal that we share. So have one goal that you guys share, which is like either you guys are going to be accountability partners, or you guys are just going to have one vision that, okay, this is what we want to do, this is where we want to go, we want to build a business, go ahead. We want to buy a car, okay, let's do this. We want to buy a house, let's stick together and let's align with those goals and work together doing that. And that helps cover everything. It helps that you guys, okay, if we talk about this, now I see the way you act, it's like a friend. It becomes like you guys become a friend. You know, when you have that one friend that you like, I want to be like that, you know? I want to talk like that. I want to surround myself with people like this friend,
Right.
you know? Because you're developing yourself, and your partner is going to see that, and they're going to automatically do it, or they're
Click
going to
to
want
growth.
to do it. Yes, they're going to click to growth. That's right. Anywho, you guys, we're going to see you on episode 4. So,
On
Do
episode
you have anything to say?
455 million tonight.
do you have anything to say before we close this
Before
up?
I close it, do you have anything to say? Because you know, as soon as I open my mouth, we're going click, click, blah, blah, da, da, da.
Okay, well, that's all I wanted to say. We'll see you on episode 4. Watch out for episode 4. We're going to be talking about some nice stuff.
All right, so with that being said, we see you on the other video. Definitely, if we blessed you in any way, in any form on this information, definitely share that information. Hit the like, comment, subscribe if you haven't ahead of time. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for subscribing.
Thank you for subscribing.
All right. With that being said, stay locked in.
God vibes only.
One up, y'all.
Gostosa e joga.